Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Today is Thursday, August 21st. We got a few voicemails as the Yankees are set to begin a huge series, 4-game set with the Boston Red Sox. We're going to talk a little bit about the 1995 Yankees, and it's hard to believe that it's been 30 years since that run. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the changes that Rob Manfred has proposed over the last several days. I'm sure you've heard, if you've been following baseball, about the radical changes that could be coming to Major League Baseball. We could see expansion in the next couple of years. That's something that's fun because I always love the expansion draft. I always love the new uniforms and the new stadiums. And honestly, when you get expansion teams, it thins out the pitching a little bit. You go back to 98 was an expansion year, and you had the home run record fall. Go back to 61. It's when they expanded the schedule. I believe they might have even had some expansion teams that year. But, the thinning out of pitching leads to more offense, which I'm excited about. You got the A's moving to Las Vegas. So baseball could look very different in the next couple of years. It sounds like there's a couple of main candidates for expansion. Nashville seems like it's the most talked about one. I got no problem with Nashville. I think that would be great. The city is booming. Could be fun. There's also North Carolina, where I'm podcasting from. North Carolina, fun fact, is the most populous state without a Major League Baseball team. They have the Durham Bulls, which is the AAA team for the Tampa Bay Rays. Beautiful ballpark. I've played there a number of times. I've been there to watch games a number of times. I played in a home run derby there. Didn't hit any home runs, but it's amazing. And it's a great place for baseball. I mean, we got UNC and Duke. There's a big sports, population down here that would love a baseball team. And, I love the idea of expansion. I've heard about Montreal possibly. That didn't work last time, but apparently they're very hungry for a team. Portland, Oregon could be fun. I don't know how easy it is to get a crowd there. It might be one of those places that's great in theory, but it might not necessarily be ravaged with baseball fans. But, we'll see. But as far as realignment goes, the big concern I have is that they'll go too far with it. I still want there to be an American League and a National League, and I want those two league championship teams to play in the World Series, right? I don't want there to, be just conferences like in basketball or whatever. I think you still got to have the American League and National League. I don't want the Yankees and Mets to be in the same division. I've seen that talked about a lot. I think that would take a lot of the fun away from the Subway Series. The thing about a rivalry is that the more often you play, the more it dilutes the rivalry. Like, I hated when every team was playing every other team in their division 19 times a year. That was just too much, You get tired of seeing Yankees and Red Sox. You get tired of seeing Yankees and Orioles. I don't know if you get tired of it, actually, but it just makes it less special, right? I like it when it's toned down a little bit. This 4-game set, Yankees have not played the Red Sox since the beginning of their stretch where they started to suck. That was June 13th through 15th. So we're now over 2 months later, and we're just seeing them again. So I like the little bit of a delay. If we were playing them every couple of weeks, it wouldn't be as fun. But I like having more cities involved. I think there's a lot of room to get younger fans into the game. And personally, I think expanding and changing the game is a good thing. Just don't go overboard with it, right? But this series should be a ton of fun. Hopefully, it goes better than it did when the Yankees were in Boston. It has some juice. Like, there's a definite buzz I can sense online. People are psyched about this game. The Yankees have won 7 out of their last 8. The Red Sox just 3 out of their last 9. So here's the question. Are the Yankees hot because they're playing great baseball, or are they playing great baseball because they're beating up on weak competition? And are they even really playing great baseball, or are they just hitting a lot of home runs, right? You don't want the team to become one-dimensional, right? But if you smash a bunch of home runs, you're probably going to win. And so I think in the best interest of the Yankees, let's just keep smashing home runs all weekend. I think that would be fun to humiliate the Red Sox, but let's not get our hopes up. The Red Sox don't play that way. They string hits together. They build rallies. They've got youth, right? They play with a lot of energy. They will nickel and dime you to death. Yankees don't really do that. For the Yankees to win this series, they have to outslug Boston, because if they try and play like Boston, they're going to get beat. They can't play like Boston. They have got to tighten up on defense. They've got to run the bases well, but conservatively. Don't get thrown out on the bases, and just hit some home runs, right? I mean, it's great that we're seeing Giancarlo Stanton go crazy. Aaron Judge might be due for a big home run streak here. He's at 40 home runs. You'd like to see him make a charge for 50 down the stretch here. It's not going to be easy. You've got a chance to get Bellinger to 30. If he can get hot. He's got he needs 6 more to go? Be a good series to put a couple in the seats. Yankees did pick up Paul Blackburn. Recently was with the Mets. Veteran guy. I think he's more of like a emergency pitcher. Somebody gets knocked out early, right? I mean, let's say Luis Gil has to leave after 2 innings or whatever, or Max Fried is having blister problems. I think he's one of those arms so you don't dilute the pen in a big series like this. Luis Gil has looked better. He's going tonight. Giancarlo Stanton has been on fire. He's playing right field. You wonder how long he's going to be able to last playing right field. I mean, I know that he can smash home runs and that he's hitting great right now, but you got to be super careful.
But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
Ren Rice catching tonight. Austin Wells hit 2 home runs last night, and he's on the bench. Honestly, I thought Boone would ride the hot bat and start Wells again. Maybe shift Rice to first base to get a couple of guys who are hitting in the lineup. Paul Goldschmidt has not been as great in the second half, and both Rice and Wells are showing signs lately of heating up. So I thought they would go with Rice at first and Wells behind the dish, but they're going with Rice at catcher, and Paul Goldschmidt is going to be at first base. I'll pull up the lineup here in just a second. But when you got Yankees, Red Sox, I don't know if records really matter. It's kind of like when Duke plays UNC, right? I mean, these rivalry games, you just never know. It's more about pride than it is about, stats or anything like that. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Hang on just a second. All right, so we got Trent Grisham leading off. He is in center field. Aaron Judge is your DH. Once again, he is batting second. Cody Bellinger batting third. He is in left field. Jason Dominguez sits once again. Giancarlo Stanton, who has 40 RBIs and 148 at-bats. That's ridiculous. I mean, you put that out over a whole full season, it's well over 100 RBIs. He is batting cleanup. He is in right field. Ben Rice is your catcher. He is batting fifth. Jazz Chisholm batting sixth at second base. Paul Goldschmidt batting seventh at first base. Ryan McMahon at third base batting eighth. And Anthony Volpe in the number 9 hole playing shortstop. So that's where we're at right now. And look, you can't measure Yankees Red Sox the same way you measure Yankees Royals or Yankees A's or even Yankees Rays. This is different, right? This is tribal. This is ancient, right? Both clubs right now, I think, searching for their identity. The Yankees trying to prove that they can survive, all the injuries they've had. Garrett Cole being out. They lost Clark Schmidt and Max Fried losing steam, right? I mean, the Red Sox are trying to prove that they can win with their young core and surprise a few people and get there a little bit early. Right now, the Yankees have climbed past them in the standings. There will be no Rafael Devers in this series. Obviously, he got traded to the Giants. But this is a test for both sides. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside elements. Realize this and you will find strength." That's baseball, baby. You can't control the ballpark, the weather, the wind, the umpires, the strike zone. All you can control is your approach to the game and your focus. That's what I want the Yankees to work on tonight. I want them to take this approach where they are just trying to win no matter what. Any way they can scratch runs across, small ball, productive outs, stealing bases, taking first to third when you can, and of course hitting the long ball. But the Yankees have to do everything they can to win this series. A split doesn't help you that much. You got to win as much as possible going down the stretch here. And if you can win 3 out of 4 and then go off against Washington and Chicago, got a real chance to be back in first place, or at worst a game or 2 out headed into September where you got a real chance, right? And the Yankees don't play Toronto again this year. But Toronto can be caught. If Toronto has a little bit of a tough stretch at the right time, the Yankees can catch them. But you got to make up a couple of games this month. 4 games or more in September is difficult. You got to get it down to like 1 or 2 games going into September. And then you take the lead with a hot weekend, right? And that can really energize the team going into the playoffs. You come back and win the division. So, maybe Stanton stays hot. Maybe Judge and Bellinger goes off. Maybe Boston's pitching finds a way to limit the long ball. I don't know. But this is going to be a fascinating series no matter what. Let's talk about another run. This was 1995. It's been 30 years now. That team was not supposed to be special, but it is special in my mind. Like, I remember that season as well as any non-championship season. They caught fire late. They won 26 out of their final 35 games. Don Mattingly just went crazy down the stretch, and the team was all in it to get him to the playoffs for the first time. First time ever in his career, and only time. And he played well. He was one of the lone bright spots throughout a decade where the Yankees didn't make the playoffs. And then suddenly, he's there, and he's smoking the baseball. He hit that big home run in Game 2. He hit 417 in the series. You had the electric back-to-back home runs by Ruben Sierra and Mattingly in Game 2. Sierra had a good series. He hit home runs in both games, 1 and 2, and dancing around the bases. You had Jim Leyritz with the walk-off in Game 2. And then Lou Piniella, when the Yankees were getting ready to leave New York, says to the press, "You're not coming back here this year." And unfortunately, he was right. The Mariners won 3 straight out there in Seattle. That paved the way for a new era in Seattle baseball. They got a new stadium, all that stuff. And that was really the end of the Buck Showalter era. You had Joe Torre take over next year. The core really started to come into place. Now, Bernie was already there. Jeter and Posada were on the bench for that series, waiting in the wings. Rivera was active, but he didn't pitch a whole lot. He threw a few innings in that series, but Showalter didn't really know what he had in Mariano Rivera. And there's always been what if? What if Showalter knew what he had in Rivera? Maybe that season ends differently. Maybe the dynasty begins a year early. Maybe Showalter is the Hall of Fame manager and not Joe Torre. Who knows? But that heartbreak really set the stage for the dynasty. And with the possible exception of 2001 and 2004, 2001, of course, because of 9/11 and losing late in the World Series, and then 2004 losing 4 straight to Red Sox. No seasons other than that hurt my heart more than the 95 season. We got a nice big super chat here from Louis Penafield. Says, 95 was the year that broke my heart for Mattingly. All-time favorite. He was the best player for the Yankees that series. That home run in the stadium was hair-raising to this day. Batted .417 with a 1.148 OPS clutch. Donnie Baseball left it out on the field. Thank you, Louis, and I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly. Donnie was my favorite player of all time. Just the epitome of class, just an amazing, amazing gentleman, not just a baseball player. And I am excited to see what he does when he ultimately becomes a manager again, because I think ultimately he will win as a manager, and hope that it's with the New York Yankees. All right, so let's get a quick Nostra Derek prediction.
There in front of us.
We'll do the picks for the weekend tonight. But first, I want to make my Nostra Derek prediction for this game. Why fight it? Giancarlo Stanton is going deep again, home run number 16. And if he does get it, that'll be his 6th home run in 7 games. My Nostra Derek pick for tonight, a home run for Big G. Quick word from our sponsor, and then I'm back we got 5 voicemails.
FT fam, when you're playing in games, you kind of have some stress, anxiety. Teammates need something to help. Now it's at your fingertips with Rula.
That's right. Telehealth has been a huge help for millions of people, but it can be time-consuming and expensive to find the right therapist. Rula is on a mission to make this process smoother. And make sure you go to rula.com/Val for more details. They take most major insurance plans, and the average copay is only about $15 per session. Every provider on Rula is carefully vetted and chosen for their expertise. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey toward improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to rula.com/Val to get started today. After you sign up, they ask you where you heard about them. Please Say that FT sent you there to support the show, but also worry about yourself here at Rula.com, RULA.com/FOUL, and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares.
All right, so my bad. We actually do have a series. I'm looking at my schedule here, and I must have missed it. Toronto, September 5th through 7th. We play at home against the Blue Jays. So that makes it even more important to get within striking distance. If you can take 2 out of 3 and be a game back, then all of a sudden you're ahead. We're tied, right? So I feel like that's a really good opportunity for the Yankees. So I'm actually glad they do have a 3-game set, and I'm glad that it's at home. But all right, let's get to some voicemails. Here's Mike.
Hey, Derek, this is Mike from the Bay Area, originally from New York. So the last time I called in and left a voicemail was right before the playoffs last year. And I was like, the best roadmap to the World Series is if we play the Royals and the Guardians back-to-back. And that's exactly what happened. I remember the response I got from you and some of the viewers, saying that, just because we beat them up during the regular season, it's not a guarantee. And yeah, that's true, but it ended up working well for us. Too bad we couldn't clinch the deal in the World Series. But anyway, the reason I'm calling today is because the Yankees just won, but I'm still really upset because Devin Williams cannot be closing games anymore. I thought that was a done deal like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago, that Devin Williams will never see the 9th or extra innings again or closing out games again. But then Aaron Boone, in his infinite wisdom, brings him in, and it's almost like he wants to lose games.
Well, luckily, Devin Williams was able to gather himself and strike out the side there. But yes, I am totally against pitching Devin Williams in any kind of games that matter. But we did get a call that was kind of interesting about that, which I want to play. This is Matt from Denver.
What's up, Derek? Matt from Denver. Obviously, we are all still reeling from the Devin Williams save last night. And obviously, there's no chance that we're not going to see him in the Boston series at some point. He's going to pitch. But do you think there's any chance that Boone was thinking that he would kind of burn Devin Williams in this Tampa game that was less important than the Red Sox series, to sort of give a cushion there where he wouldn't have to use him early on in the Boston series?
That's definitely a possibility. Maybe he was trying to save some of his better arms. We've seen him punt like that before. That's an interesting take. Got Ted from Brooklyn.
Hello, Ted from Brooklyn here. Hey, Derek, one thing I noticed about this team lately is that the way they have the interviews with the players and Boone, it seems like Giancarlo Stanton is the de facto leader of this team. He's the big brother. He's the big brother of Aaron Judge. They love his exit velo. As Stanton goes, it seems like we go. What do you think about that?
I can't say that you're wrong. And it is coincidental. Oh, maybe it's not coincidental. The Yankees do play a lot better when Giancarlo Stanton's in the lineup, and he makes the lineup a lot more dangerous. You have to pitch to the guys around him, right? Because he can crush you when he's hot like this. And the way that he has adapted to pinch hitting and DHing, he's got to play right field right now, but I feel totally comfortable with him in an offense-only role right now, whereas when he first started, I didn't. He used to hit way better when he played right field. Now, when he plays right field, I just worry about him dying. That's all I worry about when he's in right field. Here's a call back.
If the Yankees can't win it this year, is it time to start thinking about getting rid of Judge?
Oh, come on. Come on. No, they're not going to get rid of the captain. They're not going to get rid of Judge. Would you guys... I don't know why so many people have such a frickin' hard-on for getting rid of Aaron Judge. Guy's probably going to win the MVP or get close. Every year, if he's healthy, he's going to hit 45 to 60 home runs. Unbelievable.
Well, see, I told you, this is Tabor talk from the Catskills. So when you're hot, Boone will sit you down, right? So Austin Wells finally breaks out of this terrible slump. hits 2 home runs yesterday. Is he in the lineup today? No, of course not. When you're hot, Aaron Boone will sit your ass down. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? All right.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Rice has been swinging the bat better overall, a larger, longer sample size. I probably would have gone the same way, to be completely honest. I would have considered Rice at first base, Wells behind the dish, but, maybe he feels like Paul Goldschmidt swinging the bat a little bit better. Who knows? But either way, should be a fun series. I will see you guys after the game tonight. Hopefully the Yankees can take Game 1. It's very important to set the tone in a series like this. Get some momentum going. Right now, Yankees have won 5 straight. Let's make it 6 in a row. I'll see you guys after the game. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.